All right, welcome back to the weekly Bronco Nation Live. We are going to be, this is your Mountain West Conference Championship edition. We're going to be talking about that, previewing that game later on in the show. But before that, we're going to cover some other Boise State sports as we always do. I'm your host, Nick Wade. I'm joined by Sam Gillette, as always, of Sam Talk Sports. How's it going? Happy championship week, my friend.
I am stoked to be here, and I got to set the record straight. I said that UNLV would be hosting based on tiebreakers because of the ranking. I didn't see a way Boise State, and they figure the top two teams based on the rankings, and then go head-to-head, and if there's no head-to-head, then they go back to the rankings. So that's why we're in the hosting spot, and UNLV is traveling.
Yeah, and I need to I also need to apologize because in our post game, I was saying that we needed to root for UNLV against Nevada. And as the weekend progressed, I was just thinking that, and looking back at the schedule, I was looking and I figured that the game against Notre Dame would really help our schedule, regardless of who won and lost on Saturday. And then also that I remember that head to head against UNLV. And then once I figured that one out, then I had a really good hunch that if UNLV won on Sunday, we would get that news that we would be hosting the Mountain West Conference Championship on the iconic blue.
Yeah, and looking at the rankings, I think we would have hosted even if UNLV didn't win. I think we were ahead of San Diego State. So I don't know what the Sports Source rankings were, but they had us way ahead of everybody else compared to what I had. So that was kind of shocking to see.
Okay, so before we get into some of these other Boise State sports, I'm going to throw a curveball at you. This wasn't on our itinerary, but
I always throw them at you, so it's unfitting you throwing at me.
All right, yeah. Yesterday we had the official signing day for the football, the new recruits for class of 2026. Boise State had 29 signings. A very good class. They ranked anywhere between 51st, which was in 24/7 sports, in between that and 55, which was in rivals. So pretty good class against the national, the Power Four and everybody else. So very, very happy about that. I do know that about 16 of those commitments will be on campus in January. So, half of that class is ready to rock and roll. They've done the work in high school, and they're going to get on campus early and start getting into the playbook and getting acclimated. So, I don't know if you saw the list. I'm sure you did.
Yep.
Oh, and just to clear the record, there's other media's outlets out there that are saying that they're the only ones that cover recruiting. Well, we've been covering recruiting. Actually, we cover it 365 days a year, and also we cover football and we cover all sports for Boise State. So we had Jackson Taylor and Cole Cronin on the show during the summer. So, and then also we did a lot of articles. So just wanted to set the record straight. That reporting out there wasn't very accurate. We pride ourselves at Bronco Nation Updates that we start these relationships with these student athletes before they even get on campus. So by the time they get on campus, we've already interacted with them, and we support them all throughout their career at Boise State. But out of these, go ahead.
Yeah, it's important to note too that we cover more than some of the other outlets too, and so you'll see here in a minute that We get into everything, and sometimes too much everything, but we like to be the end all do all to Boise State sports.
Right. And that's what fans are. They're diehard, and it doesn't stop at football or basketball. We're proud to say that we cover mostly all the sports, and we know, we do our homework, and we meet the players, and we know what we're talking about. So, but out of this, the class of 26, the 29 signees, who are the 3 to 4 players that you're most looking forward to seeing on the blue?
Well, someone that I'm actually going to try to see if they win tomorrow, before they hit the blue, is Rocky Dunn, linebacker for Melissa High School in Texas. They're in the quarterfinals tomorrow, actually, and they play in Argyle, which we have another Argyle guy that he's already on the field, and name slip in my head if you really want to know. Yeah, Ard. There it is. Running back. So they're playing over in Arlington, I believe. Fairly certain it's in Arlington. Yeah, they're playing at the old Globe Life. It's now Choctaw, where the Rangers used to play. Turned it into a football field. Probably going to be cold over there, but I'll be watching Boise State, so I'm not going to go watch that one in person. But if they make it on to the next round, I might try and find my way over to the semifinals to watch Rocky Dunn play in person. But I'm excited about him. No surprise here. The next one is Kelvin Chavies, running back from, you guessed it, Texas. I'm excited to see. There might be a little bit of a theme here, because the next one, Davin Hill, cornerback, Arlington, Texas, and Mansfield Timberview High School. I'm anxious to see how Boise State builds on this quarterback room that we're starting to build that's becoming elite in the nation. And so I'd like to see what he could do. And then just because, just so you know, I don't have a true Texas bias, also Kyle Hall from San Mateo at the College of San Mateo. He's a 6'2" safety. Really interested to see if he comes in and is kind of able to emulate the success of Ty Benefield and J.L. Skinner.
And yeah, you can't take the Texas out of Sam Gillette, right?
Right.
That shouldn't surprise me, but yeah. So yeah, I hope Rocky does win. So he's in the quarterfinals this week, and so
yeah, I think Boise State put out there in the semifinals, but it's the quarterfinal. It's quarterfinal week in Texas.
Oh, you can't be perfect all the time, right?
Right.
I'm really looking forward to. I'm really, again, if you know me, you know I'm recency biased, and so I'm looking forward to the guys that we had on our Blue Turf Talk. That I'm looking forward to seeing how Jackson Taylor works out as a Bronco.
Yeah.
Real good upside, a lot of technical proficiency in his game. He broke his high school records in passing and touchdowns. Also looking forward to seeing Cole Cronin, the four-star offensive lineman. A lot of people don't know, but he also is a very violent force on defense. He got in his state, Nevada, he got both offensive lineman of the year and defensive lineman of the year. So very versatile, but he's going to come on with the Broncos on the line. Hopefully he'll, and time will tell, but I'm hoping that he can come in and fill that void from Cage Casey as he goes on to the NFL next year. And then I'm looking forward to seeing Terrius Favors, T-Fave, a very dynamic athlete. He can catch, he can run, he can, he's great on the secondary. We're very fortunate that he was the first commitment of 2026. I believe back in last January. And then so we were able to hold on to him that whole time. He kept that commitment. He even had Kirby Smart of Georgia flying a chopper on his high school campus trying to woo him. So very, very awesome that Tife stuck with it. And those, I mean, you got the talent there. He's, some of the statistics that he put up in high school are just stupid. Like, over 1,000 yards rushing, over 1,000 yards receiving, and then countless touchdowns on special teams. Just amazing. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what kind of an impact he'll bring, if he's going to be see him on a dual threat. So and he's quick. He's just as fast as Quentin Brown or Buck Benefield. He's got that type of speed. So looking forward to it. And then the last one that I'm really looking forward to seeing on the blue is Pa St. John. We did an article on him. Very gifted defensive end down in Arizona. He got recognized by the Fiesta Bowl. And so really looking forward to seeing him come up and give our line an added boost in 2026.
Nice. Well, as we were talking, we do cover many Boise State sports, including some of the club sports. Everything's kind of winding down, though, into the fall season, heading into winter break, and we'll be picking back up again in spring with full-blown coverage again of several different sports. It is important to note that the indoor track and field season begins on Saturday at the Sharon Collier Danville season opener in Boston, Massachusetts. So if you're a track and field fan, that's right around the corner. And go get you some track and field.
Looking forward to seeing how Chase Lawyer does, because we had him on a Bronco Talk. So that's the cool thing about what we do here is we dive into all these sports, man. It's awesome.
Yep. Women's basketball, Nick, they're back in action this week. Why don't you tell us a little about it?
Yep. The women are back in town after winning the Paradise Jam in the Virgin Islands. They took the bracket, the championship bracket that they're in. They're currently 7-1, and they are hosting Cali Baptist, who in their own right are really good. If you haven't heard of them, like I have, they are good. They are 6-2. They play with a lot of the Big West teams, and they're going to be hosted on Saturday. I keep thinking tomorrow's these Friday games are goofing me up. So, but yeah, they'll be at the X on Saturday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time. And the Broncos are still undefeated at home. They're 6-0 with a 7-1 record. The Paradise Jam, you saw Tatum Thompson and Danny Bays take home all tournament MVPs. So, our future Hall of Famers, they're lighting it up like we expected, and really would like to see people give them a lot of support, since they will be the only sport in town going on Saturday. You're going to have the men away. You'll talk about that, and then the Mountain West Conference will be over by then. So go support the women.
Yep. And like you said, the men they have a huge matchup, probably bigger than anything they faced in Maui. We all know how that went. They went 1-2 over there. But But they got a big matchup coming up Saturday at 12 Mountain. This one's on True TV, or you can listen to it on KBOI 93.1 on FM. But they're playing at Butler at the Hinkle Fieldhouse, the historic Hinkle Fieldhouse. It's going to be a tough one. Butler averages 90 points a game and only giving up 71, and we're only averaging 78.4 points per game and giving up 70. So our defense needs to be locked in. Turnovers have to be non-existent. They can't be anything like what we saw in Maui, or this one's going to get out of control and out of control fast. Finley Bizjack is a key player we need to look out for on defense, averaging 19 points a game and shooting 50% from the field. So put that in comparison. Andrew Meadow is our leading scorer at 13.6 points per game and shooting 52.9% from the field. So he puts up some shots and they go in. Meadow doesn't put up quite as much, but they still go in. Rebounding wise, they're Michael Ajayi. I had to look at that double take going, no way. And I don't wonder if he's Jay's brother or something, but he's averaging 12 rebounds a game. So this could be a game where Boise State gets out rebounded. It could be a game where it's won or lost in the paint. So with second chance points. So it's going to be a tough battle. It's going to be a good resume builder if we win, especially after losing to North Carolina State and USC in Maui. This is going to be a much needed win. Butler 7-1 heading into this one. And this game actually has just been moved to TNT, not to True TV. So it's going to be on TNT at 1 o'clock Mountain Time, December 6th. And Boise State is 5-3. So we need to get back on that winning trail in a tough environment on the road. Got to lock in and make it happen.
And Bronco Nation, as you're watching this, if you have any questions on any of these sports, put them in the chat, and we'll be happy to answer any question you have. Or if you have a comment, if you think Sam looks goofy, go ahead and put that in there, and we'll broadcast it live on the show. But yeah, put those in there, and as we're making our way to the Mountain West Conference Championship segment, put in your predictions or what you're concerned about or what you're looking forward to in the game. Or if you're going to the game, let us know if you're going.
Yeah. Be nice to know who all's going, who all's staying at home and watching it. And if Dominic's out there watching, he's going to get a kick out of this, keeping your toesies warm. If you watched the Sunbelt Syndicate show last night, it was they're always talking about their toesies and keeping them warm. Apparently it's going to be cold in North Carolina. So we got the games on Saturday. There's also a couple games the first of next week. Boise State will be playing Duquesne at Extra Mile at 7 o'clock Mountain Time on the Mountain West Network. Say that, yeah. Duquesne, tomato.
Yeah.
I knew that, but you always pronounce it one way just to be funny, and then it sticks, and then that's the only way you ever pronounce it ever again, even though you know it's wrong. It's like Wednesday or Ole Miss.
Well, you get a pass. I mean, you're from Texas. You got that draw, so it's all good.
I ain't got no draw. But that Duquesne game, Duquesne, what a name! That's on the 10th, December 10th. So have that one to look forward to.
And that's going to be another good game. The Broncos, I think, they have about the 7th toughest non-conference schedule in the land.
Yeah, they got some toughies on there. So, and important note too, they took USC down to the wire, only losing 70-67, and USC went on to win the tournament. So, in Maui, so Boise State's right there. I mean, they had the 11-point loss to North Carolina, but you got to wonder how much of that is let down from letting USC get away from them.
Yeah. And speaking of tough games, the women, next week will be traveling down to Utah, and that'll be another tough non-con game for them. They took on earlier this year. They took on where am I at here?
You're in Idaho.
I am. I'm here in the Blue Vision studios here in the heart of Boise, Idaho. They took on Colorado earlier this season, and Colorado came back for that revenge game and gave them a little bit of punishment there. So it would be nice to go down to Utah and get a nice Big 12 win, where they weren't able to get one against Colorado. Right now, the Utes are 6-3, and they played Syracuse, UConn, and Washington. So those were their toughest games. So that this is going to probably be another tough matchup for a Power Four team.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they didn't do too well against Colorado. Let's hope they can fix that against Utah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that was Colorado, because they beat Colorado in 24-25, and I think Colorado just came back as, hey, they beat us last year, and we're going to come get them. So, and that's what they did.
Yep. Esports, I'm not going to delve too much into this because we do have a esports themed show strictly for esports in the works, but I do want to let you know that Boise State is your Rocket League Mountain West Conference champions. They took on Grand Canyon and San Diego State last night in the Grand Canyon in the semifinals. They won 4-1, and then they came out roaring against San Diego State and beat them 4-1 as well. Had a chance for the sweep, but let one game get away from them. But it is what it is. Couple of overtime matches in that one too was really fun to watch. But again, we'll have more on that. Smash Brothers is a 3 seed. They took down Hawaii in the semifinals on Monday 2-0. They play San Jose State tonight. Actually, that game is right now, but please don't go watch it. If you haven't watched any, don't start now. Stay here with us. But that is on Twitch right now if you do want to go over and tune in or have dual screen set up and keep an eye on that one. So they're out to defend their title in College Football 26, Rocket League, and bring home its first title in Super Smash Bros. So which is Super Smash Brothers is going on right now. So, but we're going to have a esports theme show, so grab your kids and keep a lookout for it. If you're ever interested in esports, we're going to have a show dedicated to just that sometime next week.
The Plaza Inn owners, Jason and Selena Jungling, are huge supporters of Boise State. If you've ever watched a game, chances are you've seen them as the superfans, the Flintstones. So let's show them as much support as they've supported Boise State by making the short drive over to Ontario. Enjoy dine-in and carry-out by giving them a call at 541-889-3550 for homemade breads, pastries, and soups. Or check them out on the web at plazainrestaurant.com. All right, welcome back, Bronco Nation. Again, if you have any questions or comments, put them right down there in the chat or the comment section, whatever you want to call it, and we will put it up on the screen and broadcast your comment or your question live on the show. All right, Sam, what do you want to talk about?
Well, let's get into the meat potatoes of it. Championship, football and chill. We had a guy lined up. He forgot he had other engagements. And so now you just get us. That's okay, though. We're awesome people. But this is Football and Chill Championship Edition, UNLV, the sequel, again. It seems like we've been doing this sequeling for a couple of years now. 3 straight Mountain West Conference championships between Boise State and UNLV. And Boise State has won every single one of them. I think this is going to be the 5th time in 2 calendar years that Boise State has played UNLV, and they've won all 5 times. So I don't see why tomorrow night should be any different. Do you?
I don't see any reason, but I get kind of concerned when you take on a team twice in a year.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe it's some flashbacks of Fresno State, but yeah. And then you also have the head coach, Coach Mullen over there. So a little bit concerned about that, but UNLV hasn't won since the Carter administration. So
yeah, it's been a little bit. I was just actually looking up that date right now. I had it written down and I didn't bring my pad down with me. So I'm sure I'll in my notes I have here it'll pop up eventually. So, but yeah, I wrote it down on a pad to for my quick notes, and I left my quick notepad at home. So that's what I get for trying to be efficient.
Well, you'll just have to trust me because I think that was the last time.
I'm fairly sure it was. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I know it's been a while. So
yeah.
Shall we get into the game stats?
Yeah, give me the stats, man.
I am Sam, the stat man. This game's kicking off at 6 o'clock Mountain Time on Fox on the Blue. 10-2 UNLV versus 8-4 Boise State. Both schools are 6-2 in conference. Boise State is a 4.5 point favorite in this one. They did open as only a 1.5 point, so that grew. ESPN's matchup predictor gives them 66% chance to win to UNLV's 34. Madsen has been named the starter. He comes back 152 at 255, 15 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 6 yards shy of 2,000. He's going up against Calandria, who had a decent game against Boise State last time. He's got 238 for 349 completions, 22 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 3,050 yards. So our secondary is going to be back in action and working on UNLV. And I was going to look up. I forgot to do it before. Last time Boise State gave up 264 passing yards. And I believe that might have been the last time Boise State gave up over 200 yards passing was against UNLV. I'd have to go look that up, though. I'm fairly certain it's been a while since they've given up 250 yards. They gave up 294 yards on the ground as well, so that's something to look at. Excuse me. I did that backwards. They gave up 215 yards. Boise State had 264. I was looking at the wrong column. I wanted to close it out, and yeah. And I got another show to do after this one. But, yeah, they gave up 215 yards passing, so not as bad. But still 261 on the ground. That was as bad. So the defense needs to stiffen up. It's going to be colder. It's going to hurt more whenever you're hit. There is rain in the forecast as well, if I remember right. So the fans need to tough it out, just like the Broncos are going to be toughing it out. I know it's going to be cold. It's going to be miserable probably at times, but if you're jumping around and being rowdy and causing ruckus for Fresno State, you're going to stay warm. So just keep that in mind. Just jump around, be loud, stay warm. It's easy, right, Nick?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Thomas for UNLV had 127 carries, 12 touchdowns. Not a 1,000-yard rusher, though. You know who is? Dylan Riley, 1,016 yards on 164 carries and 10 touchdowns. So if the wet becomes an issue, we could see a lot more running as well. Caples is our leading wide receiver with 3 touchdowns on 43 receptions and 515 yards. And then, of course, we got Feely with 5.5 sacks. And Benefield leads the way with 90 tackles. I think it's 92 tackles, actually.
So it is
94 for UNLV's McDuffie, who was all over the field the first game. So we need to keep an eye on where he's at too. So it's going to be a really good game. Hopefully, have the same outcome. That 20-point win was nice. Of course, we played UNLV last year, and it was a close game, and then we turned around and curb stomped them somewhat in the Mountain West Championship game. I know they're getting tired of losing to us, though. So this could be one of those deals where they're going to come out and try and pop quick and make us one-dimensional, because we all know that whenever they're able to get one-dimensional, that's whenever Boise State has some issues. So, but I'm anxious to know, Nick, and we're going to get into the controversy side of it all. What do you think of the Maddox getting the start after Max got us to the championship?
Yeah, that's been one of the major talking points this week since Monday's press conference, when Coach Danielson announced that Mad Dog would be the starter for the championship game. And we alluded to that after the Utah State game. And I have, my opinion is that, Maddox is 19-5. The one loss that he lost, I mean, he could very well have been 20-4 if he didn't get injured. Who knows what would have happened in that Fresno State game? He gets the credit for that loss because he started the game, and then ultimately they lost. You could tell a stark difference with him in there and with him out. The players kind of feed off of his leadership. So my opinion is, when you have a starter who's built the foundation of winning, who has that leadership, they shouldn't lose their starting role due to injury. Did Max kind of come into a groove and do great? Yes, he did. I mean, he's coming off the Mountain West offensive player of the week, and so good to. I'm really happy. I was happy to see that they have different games, right? Max is more of a gunslinger, as you could see in that last game. Spun a really good ball, but Mad Dog knows the offense inside and out, knows how to kind of pivot, and he knows, for the most part, based on some of these defense that he sees, he knows if he needs to roll out and throw. A lot of that, is kind of his physical capabilities, right? But a lot of that too is, a little bit of misdirection on the defense. And I don't think he gets a lot of credit for that. I think that he does put himself in some good spots that leave the defense guessing. In the first game against UNLV, don't forget he had 4 touchdowns, one pick, but did very well, very integral part of that game to get the win. So I think that's one of the reasons why Coach D, went ahead and said, that's our starter, because he has those intangibles. And, outside of some of these bigger games like Penn State and Notre Dame, and then the egg that they had in South Florida, he's been lights out. He was undefeated before that Fresno State game against Mountain West Conference opponents. And like I said, he got injured, so he did get the loss because he started the game. So he could have easily been 20-4 after that game. I actually believe that if he hadn't got injured, they would have won that game. We let in basically every statistical column that there was in that game, except for
you look at that, the turnovers kind of killed scoring drives too.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where I land. Where do you land? Are you team Mad Dog, or are you Mad Max?
Well, as a former Drew Bledsoe fan, Mad Max, but as a guy that wants to see program success, the biggest argument I see is Maddox has, with a U, not an O. Maddox doesn't seem to have grown. It looks like his game is the same now as what it was when he became the starter. Versus Max has done so much to improve in such a short time when you look at from Fresno State to Utah State. So, I mean, I'm up in the air on it. The one glaring thing that puts me on Mad Dog's side, he's never lost to UNLV. How can you not give him that start?
Yeah, so, and Bronco Nation, if you have a take on this, put it in the comments. And we're not going to berate you for having your own opinion. We like to respectfully debate on this show. So we're not going to call you out and any of that kind of stuff when your opinion differs from ours. So who are you? Who do you think that we had? Who do you think would give us the best chance to win this game? Mad Dog or Max? Yeah. Put them in the comments and we'll broadcast that live throughout the show.
I think you start Maddox though. I think you give him the start. He's the starter at the beginning of the year. He's played through adversity. He's got us to here or before his injury. And you look at the games that we played, we probably would have had the same record if Maddox was starting regardless. So it's not like Max has come in and is the end-all, do-all, best quarterback we've ever had kind of guy. He still has some growing to do. Not taking anything away from his back-to-back 500-yard games and the work that he's put in. It's just the facts of it are Maddox was a starter at the start of the season, like it or not. A starter shouldn't lose a spot because you're injured, no matter how good your backup's playing. Now he comes back and he's just not there in the first quarter. Yeah, yank him, put Max back in, and let's go win the thing. But if he comes out and he's slinging it and the game management and everything is where it needs to be, let him play his final game final game of the year on the blue.
Yeah, and another thing that people don't realize too is Mad Dog's battled his whole career at Boise State. Yeah. His career started with controversy as a freshman. Getting put in and out, with a different style of other quarterback. A 6'6" phenom who can run. So he had to kind of deal with that, and ultimately, he won that round, and then he got injured, and so between his freshman and sophomore year, he was rehabbing his knee the whole time. Came back in 2024. We had Genty, right? So, who's not going to lean on, a first round running back pick? So some of this curve that people see like without a progression, I kind of see it as there really wasn't a curve because they really wanted to lean into Genty, and so but he did very well with the spots that he had last year, and then coming into this year, he's been really dealing with some nagging some nags on with his legs, and so he's been kind of dealing with that and doing the best that he can. And yeah, it didn't help that we had an egg, we had a no-show in South Florida, and then in Notre Dame we just part of the playbook and the scheme that was used put him in a situation where he just had to try to throw his way out of it. And, at that point in time, you got, a Power 4 team who's now in the, looking to make the college playoff. basically just playing center field, and so
Yeah.
that didn't bode very well for him. And that's why he got the 4 picks on that game. But I don't see the regression that a lot of other people see, because I actually understand, his journey to where we're at right now. So, but again, he's 19-5 as a starter. The last, as you said, he's undefeated against UNLV, and in the last game he had 4 touchdowns. So I'm confident with him, and I think he's going to actually come in and do well, because he's a leader, and he does very well in these Mountain West games that are in the spotlight. And
Yeah.
And that's the thing he's got going for him, is he never wavers in those opportunities.
UNLV has never won at Albertson Stadium. Their Boise State leads the series 12-3, and it's currently on the 10-game winning streak. And we talked about this a little bit earlier. I found my note. November 6th, 1976 in Las Vegas was the last time UNLV beat Boise State.
That was during the Carter years.
And last year's 29-24 regular season win was the only one-score game in the series since they joined the Mountain West.
Yep. And so last game you saw, Calandre had a pretty good game, about 250 passing yards. He had 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Jet Thomas didn't do very well, but the backup came in and he did well. But since that game, Boise State's defense has really stepped it up. And so let's talk about the defense, man. We talked about this before the season began, that we'd like to see the defense be top 30, because before the season started, we saw a really good chance that we could make the college football playoff. And in order to be successful in one of those, which we weren't last year, is because we didn't have a top 30 defense, and it really showed against Penn State in the Fiesta Bowl. But since that game against UNLV on the blue, the secondary has really stepped it up, and the D-line, they've been really, really good as well. And so right now we're sitting at the 30th ranked defense in the nation, and our secondary is ranked 11th. And so, what do you think? Do you think? And since then too, Anthony Calandria, he just was honored Mountain West Conference Offensive Player of the Year. So what do you think about how the tables have turned since the last matchup? How do you think the defense is going to do against what seems to be an upward climb with UNLV's offense since the last time we saw them?
Yeah, I think the defense is going to come out hot. Like you said, the 11th best passing defense in the country. They're only giving up 167 yards a game in the secondary. And since September 27th against App State, they've held their opponents to less than 200 yards passing 7 of 9 times. And that's consistent. So granted, one of those times was San Diego State, where everybody just ran the ball, but I digress. Let's see. I'm in the wrong area. Man, I got to hone it in. At home, Boise State's only allowed 161 passing yards per game. It's the 19th best mark in the nation. So that's nation, not Mountain West Conference, nation. You're top 20 in the secondary. A secondary that 3 games into the season, people were saying, oh, not this again, myself included. But this secondary has soared and really rose to the challenge. Like you know what? I'm tired of hearing it from the fans. Let's lock this in. Let's get it going. And they've done it. They've held their opponents under 50 yards twice this year, under 100 yards 3 times, under 154 times, and under 200 8 times. So then 10 of the 12 games this year, they've held them under 250. So it's hard to pass on the Broncos. I'm more concerned with our run defense because they've given up chunks on the ground. And I know we've talked about it. I think 90% of that is because of speed at the linebacker position. When our linebackers get out of position, they don't have the speed to get back into it. And that's why Buck Benefield has all the tackles he has, because he's having to come up and get those edges where our linebackers find themselves out of position and you get past that level, then you're one-on-one with a corner or a safety, and thank God we have corners and safeties that can open field tackle. Otherwise, we may not even be Mountain West Championship right now.
Yeah, and once they get into that level, I mean, you're looking at a 7-yard gain, right?
Yeah.
And if you're giving up 7 yards, you're giving the other team, depending on what down it is, a 3rd and 3 almost every time. And yeah, and we God bless Marco Notriani. But really happy to see Roman Kaywood come up. And he's really been somebody who's, with that support has really shored up that second level, him and Bo Phelps. And that's, I don't know if you've noticed, but the Bucks tackles have gone down a little bit over the last couple games because of the elevation of Bo Phelps and Roman Kaywood. And so really love Marco, but he's just too big, man. Too big, and he can't, eliminate that real estate sometimes, and he's just not in the right angle to do that. So I'm very grateful that Roman Kaywood has really stepped up, and also Bo Phelps. And I don't know if you remember, but he used to be a safety, so he's actually gone through a metamorphosis to be where he's at right now. So kudos to them. High praise, like for real. And I think that they're going to have a good game tomorrow. Yeah.
Ty Benefield is one of 4 players in the nation to have 90 tackles, 7 tackle for losses, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. He joins Mac Harris from South Florida, Jordan, I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, Jordan K. from Central Michigan, Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech. There's only been one other Bronco to reach those stats: 90 tackles, 7 tackle for losses, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble. Bronco Nation, if you're watching, give us your guess in the comments. Who is the only other person to have 90 tackles, 7.5 tackles for loss? Holy cow. I closed it out. 2 interceptions and a forced fumble. Who's the only other Bronco? Let us know in the comments. We'll put them up if you get it right. We'll put it up if you get it wrong and tell you try again.
And Bronco Nation, tomorrow when you go to the game, during the pregame when they're showing the starters, give Ty Benefield a big round of applause, because this is probably going to be his last game on the blue. He will probably declare for the NFL draft. Had plenty of NFL scouts at a lot of these practices, and it really feels like it's his time. And I think that that's what may happen. So really appreciate what Buck's done, last 3 years, and especially this year, because without some of that support that he's brought, we're probably looking at a 5-loss season. So just take it all in and really appreciate him and all the the seniors, and also Blitz the T-Dog coming out of retirement for one more game.
All right. No comments yet. Remember, Bronco Nation, 90 tackles, 7 tackle for loss, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble. Who's the only other Bronco in the last 20 seasons to be able to do that? Let's see it. Come on, someone's got to know. I mean, I know, but someone else has got to know.
I've got a couple guesses, but I'll let you know after the show.
Well, I'm going to give him the answer here in about 5 minutes if no one says anything.
Oh. Okay, well let me do my guesses then.
I'll take your guesses before I reveal who it is. Let's talk tight ends. Matt Wagner.
Okay.
He rumbled, bumbled, and stumbled. My best Chris Berman impression.
Mm-hmm.
Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Whoop! Man, I miss that guy. That's back when the NFL was actually fun to watch. He got his first touchdown. I was surprised to learn that. I thought he had more. I had to go look it up. Thinking there ain't no way that was his first one, but no, his first touchdown. He's really emerged with Max Cutforth, with most of his yards and his only touchdown being with Max. Do you think there's going to be any kind of drop off at the tight end position if Maddox comes back in and then the tight ends get forgotten again?
I think it all depends on what kind of play scheme Coach Potter does. There's been in the last couple of weeks, there's been a drastic, almost a 360 degree shift in what they're doing. You're not seeing a lot of those inside zones, over and over and over. You're seeing more shiftiness outside the tackles, which is and more misdirects that are getting Wags open. And we even saw a trick play that Cam was able to hit Wags, and he made an awesome catch.
Yeah.
But I mean,
with the way the officiating was going, I thought a few of those catches weren't going to go his way, especially the touchdown. I thought they were going to put him down at the one.
Yeah, that was really close. But if they continue to play the playbook like they did in the last couple of games, I don't see why you wouldn't have your tight ends in the mix. Just depends on what they do, how they do opening up the playbook. I will say though, I'm still not as content as I probably should be with some of those misdirects and trick plays. I know that we have more in us, and I just hope that if we find ourselves in a position where we absolutely have one, that Nate's going to have the courage to call one of those.
Yeah. What do you think of the seemingly monumental fall off of tight end production from years past at Boise State? I mean, it used to be, it was a go-to relief valve to be able to hit your tight end, and now it's like they're just almost non-existent this year. It's amazing they have as many yards as what they do have.
I think it may be the turnover from the offensive coordinator position. They've been going back and forth. Plow, then you had Dirk Cutter, and then they went from Dirk Cutter back to Bush Hamden, and then back to Dirk Cutter, and now to Nate Potter. And Nate Potter's basically learning on the job. He tutored under Dirk last year, but really, you don't really get the hang of it until you're actually doing it in a game situation. So I think that may be playing, a big part of it. Also, it may even be that, they're playing to their strengths or the personnel. But I think that they have a really good future with Wags there, and they're making, with these recruits, they're making more of an emphasis on a lot of these newer tight ends. So hopefully they can get back into that, because that really does help them, because, once you do your check downs, right, tight ends really, really a key. It's really key to making the offense continue to run and be successful.
Yeah. All right. Last chance. 90 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, 1 forced fumble. Who was the last Bronco to do it in the last 20 years? Who do you got, Nick?
I have 2 guesses. One is Quentin Michael or Jamar Taylor.
You are right on neither one of them.
It was a valiant effort.
I will give you a hint. Dallas Cowboys.
So that would have been my other one. LVE.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
He's the last Bronco in the last 20, or the only other Bronco in the last 20 years to have 90 tackles, 7 tackles for losses, 2 interceptions, and a forced fumble, at least.
That was the first. That was the first one. I'm like, no, it's got to be a safety, man. But oh
yeah.
well.
Nick, what are your predictions for? Let me back up a little. What are you most looking forward to in this game? Not just offense or defense, as a whole. What do you want to see this Bronco Nation or Bronco football team come together and do to win this game? What is you most looking forward to for this game?
I would like to see them exceed my expectations, like the first meeting back in September, October, whenever that was, and for them to click on all cylinders. Dylan Riley had 200 yards in the first game. I'd love to see Boise State start out hot, score first and early, because when they do that in all their games this season, they're like 7-0, something like that. So that's what I want to see from the get-go. I want to see them just I want them to do, if they get the coin flip, tails never fails. I want them to defer, and then when they get the ball, take it down there and score right away. And then as far as a fan, I want Bronco Nation to sell this out. I want to see you in those seats, and I want to hear, along with me, bring that blue chaos. We got Ahmed Hassanin. He's going to be in the house. So I just want to see pandemonium. I want to see everybody go nuts.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. If they've already clinched their 28 season winning record. They are tied with Oklahoma. They have the nation's longest current active streak. They are tied with Oklahoma for third longest in FBS history. Oklahoma did it from 66 to 93. And they're going bowling for their 29th consecutive season, behind only Georgia. 28th consecutive season, behind only Georgia, who's going 29th. So they're one season behind Georgia. We need Georgia to slip up next year so that we can take that spot. That'd be nice. Boise State gets into this one by the skin of their teeth. UNLV in the metrics was 45.5. Boise State was 45.75. But because of the head-to-head, Boise State gets the host. So very evenly matched team. I'm really looking forward to this one. I don't want to see any of these streaks come to an end. UNLV's never won on the blue. I don't want to see that come to an end. They had a 10-game win streak right now, including undefeated record for Maddox against UNLV. Don't want to see that come to an end. The only games we've lost this year, we've only scored 7 points in. So I know Bronco Nation is going to be holding their breath after the first touchdown. They're going to be holding their breath until we get another point. So it's time. It's time to get going. Time to put it to the test. Time to win up. I was looking for the stat. I had it written down somewhere. I don't remember where I put it. But Boise State is near perfect when they score 14 points in the first quarter. And so that's the metric I'm going to be looking for. Jump out to a fast start, smack them on defense, let them hurt from the opening drive, put doubt in their mind right from the get-go, put 14 points up on the board in the first quarter, and take it to the house after that. Don't let up. A decisive win against a 10-2 UNLV team, a Troy upset of James Madison, and a Duke upset of Virginia could put Boise State back in CFP talks. Do not say we don't deserve to be there. It doesn't matter if we deserve to be there or not. We get there. If the committee takes recency bias into consideration, which I know they're not supposed to, but they do it anyway, let's be honest. That's why Alabama got bumped up. If Boise State can get into that CFP playoff, get that extra $4 million heading in. I know it's split up against conference, but get that extra money heading into the Pac-12 for recruiting and NIL and everything. Do it. Don't settle for a lesser bowl as Bronco Nation. Don't, well, let's go to a bowl game we can win. Screw the winning bowl game. Get that money so we can recruit, so we can go after a national championship.
Yep.
That's where it's at. Root for the things that need to happen to give us the chance to play on the biggest stages so that we bring in the most money so that we can compete with the national title contending schools. If you don't do that, and if you don't cheer for that, and you don't get behind that effort, you're bound for mediocrity. You're bound for the LA Bowl. You're bound for the Birmingham Bowl. You're bound for the Potato Bowl. And just hope that every now and then you get that year where every other G5 school is crap and you're able to get into that big play. Root for the success. Root for being in the biggest games, even if we don't have a chance to win, because the money will come in. The money gets recruits to come in. The money pays for NIL to come in. And you get to compete. You get to build on that and build on that and build on that until eventually you're beating the Georgias and the Penn States and the, obviously not this year, and the Texases and the Ohio States in the playoffs. You're getting up, you're building up that foundation to get those bigger people, to get the flips like the quarterback from Indiana, whose name's escaping me. You get all that. Yes. You get all that, and you start moving forward, and it starts now. It starts with us rooting for the bigger games, whether you think we deserve to be in them or not. Root for the big games. That's where the money comes in to be able to afford everything to get in there and go. So stop posting negative. We don't belong. We don't belong. Who cares? We need the money. You can't build without the money. If they want to put us in the game, give us $4 million to lose, go for it. I would love to step in a ring somewhere and get $4 million to get punched around and lose. Trust me, I would do it tonight with no training. Just let it happen. Stop complaining about it.
With that said, what's your prediction for this game?
31-14, Boise State.
For me, Bronco Nation, this is our swan song. I want to see the Boise State Broncos put a bow on the Mountain West Conference. Leave it, three-peat, back to back to back Mountain West Conference champions. And again, just like Sam said, I'm rooting for it. This has been a long, strange trip of a season, and anything can happen, as we've seen. You know, if the right chips fall, and the Boise State takes care of business tomorrow, we're sitting right there at one of the top conference champions, and it's going to make the committee think again, right?
Yep.
So tomorrow you're going to see 41 degrees at kickoff with a 90% chance of rain. So make sure that you bring your ponchos, your blankets, pack your clear backpacks, and bring your gloves, bring all that, and come early, get your butt in the seat, and we need you for 60 minutes. Anytime the offense, anytime our defense is on the field, that's our time. That's when we're making the chaos. So, Bronco Nation, make sure you get to this game tomorrow. I've been to other conference championships where there's hardly anybody and you could notice. That's when we get beat by Fresno State. So get your butts in the seats, be loud, get there early, stay with the whole time, and hopefully at the end, we're all on the field celebrating another Mountain West Conference championship with the team around the podium and all that. My prediction is I think the Broncos are going to win 40-21.
Ooh, nice. I like it. I stopped going in the 40s because every time I do, they don't. So I dropped it down to the 30s. Trying some reverse psychology.
So as Sam was,
don't let the cold bug you. Get out there, bounce around, jump, be loud, be rowdy.
Yep.
That'll warm you up.
Yep.
Drink a fifth of whiskey before you go. That'll help too.
And that's how I stay warm. Is I'm up. I'm up at, if I'm not up at I'm usually up, but if it's third down, I'm up for sure, man, and just waving my arms, trying to get everybody going, and that keeps me warm. And if we have everybody doing that, man, the decibels would be so loud. We're going to get so many false starts. So we need you to be at the game, and we need you to bring the chaos. That being said, just like Sam said, we need to get these big bowls, and it starts with the fans, doing our part to give our guys a home field advantage against their offense. So make sure you're doing that. And then, so if these things line up and we get to the CFP, we do deserve it. We put in, they put in all the work the whole season, and they never quit. And they, if they leave the field conference champions, then they do deserve a spot, especially if the other dominoes fall. They deserve a spot in the CFP. And I'm hoping that Jeremiah Dickey becomes that cheerleader that the CFP committee needs to listen to. With that being said, without those big bowls, we still have blueelevation.org, and that's where we crowdsource, and and we're going to continue to do that. And that's why these big bowls help with the NIL, but we can also help too as fans at blueelevation.org. But we need to wrap this up. We got another show. Sam's got another show, the CFP Roundtable. You can get all those scenarios in our next show, so stick around.
Yep.
And we're going to have an awesome panel of guests. We got the Bronco Believer. We have the Sunbelt Syndicate. We have Todd Talks College Football. We have a Domer, Casey, our Domer fan. We enjoyed the game in Notre Dame with him. We have Sam Talks Sports, and we have Pops. So stick around. It's on the same channel, and we will see you at 7:30. But until then, Bronco Nation, please go to the game. Please be loud. Bleed blue. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.
Hey, if you're looking for more followers, clients, or customers, check out ServingBroncoNation.com and get your business added to the directory. When you purchase a tax-deductible plan, you are investing in Boise State and getting access to millions of views throughout the year on the directory and the Bronco Nation network.